summer is hot, and the pace of news coming out around crypto is even hotter. This is the NJCPA Issues Watch podcast. Welcome back to the NJCPA Issues Watch podcast. I'm your host, Stein Smith, and I always try to cover anything and everything tech-related, automation, analytics, AI, blockchain, crypto assets, and how they're impacting work currently being done, and how all of us are going to have to integrate these tools going forward. So I've been involved at the NJCPA since about 2012, currently on the board, and it's a great privilege to really hold that role and to be able to interact and to educate and also learn from all of my fellow NJCPA members. So I'm really amped to be here today to try to provide a quick, brief update on a few of the many headlines that have come out around crypto, tokenized assets, and that broader space over the last few short weeks. Okay, so hopping right into the episode, there has been a lot going on, both in terms of headlines, market developments, in a positive way and negative way around crypto. And you do know that I have covered quite a few of these updates and changes over the last few months and on past episodes. But there are a few quick things that I thought were, one, worth highlighting just on a informational sort of market point of view, and two, really important for us to know going forward as our internal colleagues and external clients are probably hearing these exact same headlines. So first, off the top, there have been 8 applications submitted to the SEC to have a spot Bitcoin ETF authorized for trading here in the US. And all of that is really interesting. For one, there is no spot ETF yet tradable in the US by US investors, and there are products in other markets that are able to be traded. And so having the opportunity to have a ETF of this kind authorized by the SEC could really change who is interested in investing into crypto and the amounts being invested into crypto. Now, it's also worth highlighting that the SEC has previously turned down, I believe it has to be at least over 20 previously submitted applications. But the applications now that have been added onto the SEC basically plan to go over have been turned in by the likes of BlackRock, Invesco, Fidelity, and other large institutional players in the space that include some of the largest asset managers in the world. So all of that is to say that on the one hand, right, there are more applications to get more Bitcoin and crypto trading products on the books to be able to open up the opportunity for more investors to invest into Bitcoin via more traditional mechanisms. And then two, that's a direct add-on to that, that is going to increase, I don't guarantee much, but I would almost guarantee that having opportunities like that, because I personally think now it's a matter of when, as opposed to if, we'll have a spot ETF product authorized. All of that is going to ultimately turn into more tax and audit questions for us going forward. And also on a firm level, trying to help our clients at that institutional level, treasury level, trying to figure out how to allocate cash into obviously non-cash assets. So it is going to be driving conversation going forward either way. So I would say that the progress made on these applications is a topic to have an eye on going forward. Adding on to that, the SEC is again in the headlines, and that after really the past 18 months of really cracking down on the entire industry, right? Good actors, bad actors, and all the rest. that the SEC has, in July 2023, partially lost a major case versus a major company into the crypto space. And that's all the way back in 2020, Ripple had been sued by the SEC. And I won't go into the operational guts of the lawsuit and the nuanced allegations of the case, but basically, in the lawsuit, the SEC argued that the company Ripple and its token XRP, which probably has been in the headlines quite a bit during the last couple of weeks, had both been in direct violation of the Securities Acts of 33 and 34. And so, the firm and the SEC had been in court pretty much ever since 2020, and it was quite a big deal to have the judge come down that basically both parties were partially correct, and that's going to, I think, have a few indirect implications. One, obviously, for any clients that hold XRP, that will increase the value of those holdings. So always be sure to follow up with those clients. And then two, this is going to, again, indirectly have a positive impact on how crypto is thought about from a risk and a compliance point of view, right? Because ultimately, XRP, it was and is built and basically intended to be used for as a medium of doing business, right? XRP, it was built and purposed to be used as a currency, not as an asset by itself, unlike Bitcoin, I would say. And so all of that could then feed into other cryptos of that kind, right? Basically stable coins, being better understood and having a more positive aura, right, as they are examined by corporate treasurers and other folks involved in the payment side of things. So I would just say overall, having this partial loss of this case by the SEC will empower other operators in the space and other interested parties, possibly your colleagues and external clients, to be interested in trying to integrate tools either directly, XRP, or other tokens of that kind into their payroll and other payment rails. And it's also worth just adding on to that there have been pretty big moves by companies like MasterCard and Visa, on top of moves by PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, to allow companies to conduct transactions using certain crypto assets. And I would say, again, a indirect impact of this is that those projects that might have been put either on ice or on the back burner following FTX failing, Binance being sued, Coinbase being sued, all the rest, that those more institutionally focused projects might be moved onto the front burner going forward. Again, just items to have an eye. And now probably a topic or a concept that has flown under the radar, I think, at the very least anecdotally, has to do with the launch of this FedNow payment system. Okay, and so basically the whole idea behind FedNow, it is to try and address and to solve many, not all, many of the problems that companies have when trying to move US dollars back and forth, right? Because on the surface, we as individuals have Apple Pay, Google Pay, Cash App, Venmo, all instantaneous peer-to-peer options. But on the back end, anybody who handles payments for any type of institutional client, either directly or indirectly, knows that there are that it's costly, time-consuming, and it's really a payment system in need of an update. Okay, and so in answer to that, the U.S. Fed has basically built out and is as of the date of recording in the process of rolling out their FedNow payment system. And on the surface, kind of sounds a lot like crypto-based payments. Hear me out. It's up and running 24/7, 365. They are instantaneous payments, and they are unable to be reversed. So they're always online, instantaneously completed and actually settled. And three, it's a permanent record. That sounds an awful lot like the attributes of a blockchain-based payment system. And so, the question being asked is, well, as the FedNow system, goes through its test phase and becomes really operational over the next quarter or half year or so, how is that going to impact those positive headlines around products in crypto and around crypto as a medium of doing business? And so I won't analyze every single option there. If you are interested, I just authored a piece on this topics on Forbes.com. So have a look there. But basically, while this FedNow payment system does address many of the current issues around US dollar-based payments, it isn't really tackling the opportunities that using privately issued stablecoins for payments are able to actually give. So just right here, the current FedNow system is only for US domestic payments. It currently cannot be used for any international payments. It ignores any on-chain transactions. So basically the entire world of any blockchain-based payments, transactions, gas fees, all of that is currently off limits. Three, it has to run on existing US payment rails, which on the one hand makes sense, but on the other hand, won't allow any new entrants. Basically, it is not able to bank the unbanked, either here in the US or again internationally. And then four, it really is not yet, at least, able to handle large scale transactions. Now, I'm sure that is going to change going forward, but as of right now, our conversation right here, the current cap on transactions is $500,000, which for an individual is probably plenty, but for a institution trying to make payroll or other large batch transactions, that is not yet able to handle that capacity. So it's a very interesting tool, I think, and it really illustrates, outside of the obvious appetite to improve the speed, efficiency, and cost of US dollar payments, it also highlights the integration of attributes that were only introduced into the payments conversation via Bitcoin and other blockchain-based payments. So it really is, again, a indication, I think, that blockchain, crypto assets, tokenized payments are moving more and more into the traditional finance and payment space, which in turn will almost always increase the pace of questions and the depth of questions all of us are going to have to answer going forward. And so ultimately, how do you try to handle, right, all of these headlines, topics, updates, either internally or externally? As always, I say, always start with the headset of education, right? Be it internally at your firm, educating yourself and your team, or conversely, educating your external clients, right? Because the best way to have productive conversations on this topic is to make sure that everybody is up to date on these topics. And then two, it always comes back to, are these tools, right, be it XRP, be it, FedNow, or some other iteration of a instantaneous or possibly blockchain-based payment system, are these tools actually a good fit from a budget point of view, compliance point of view, IT point of view? And then three, are we going to be able to increase the capacity of these tools to actually get that enterprise level scale that these tools need to operate as advertised and to actually convert the promise and upside of these tools into actuality? So as always, anything to do with blockchain, crypto assets, it's a fast-moving space. There's a ton going on, both good, bad, and in the middle. And ultimately, our goal, right, as advisors and partners, right, to our clients, is to help them understand what these trends are and how they impact them directly and indirectly. And for any of you who have not yet joined the NJCPA Emerging Tech Interest Group, I highly encourage you to go ahead and do so at njcpa.org/groups. And all of the episodes from the NJCPA Issues Watch podcast are available on social media, all the rest, and also on njcpa.org/podcasts. Thanks. Have a great day.